Hi guys, welcome to another ratchet late night talking about stuff type of thing. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm a little bit sniffly and congested, but I don't have sick days anymore because I work for myself. So here we are. Okay, I have a clickbait title, but it's something that has been on my. I actually always try to have a clickbait title. Sorry. Thanks for coming. Let's talk about how to make money without making more stuff. Because one of my biggest issues that I have said endlessly is not being able to have enough stock for shows. And to be honest, I actually am doing pretty good right now. I've delegated most of the assembly to my friends because you don't need to crochet to just glue stuff together, and that part is extremely tedious. So I've had a lot of help, but I need to think long term about how things are going to work, especially because I can't keep asking my friends for help forever. They have real jobs and eventually will have things to do on their own. It's not always reliable. I also can't afford to pay somebody to help me full time, and I don't anticipate being able to do that anytime in the near or medium future, maybe long term, other than like helping at tables and stuff like that. But um, what do I mean by that? Okay, what do I wait? Okay, sorry. It got chaotic. My brain suddenly jumped 3 steps. Let me have some tea. Hold on. There's no more in here actually. All right. So we're talking about how to. My notes are also up there. That's why I'm looking up there. I'm not smart enough to do this without notes, guys. Let's talk about how to make more money. Oh, my posture. Is it bad? Without making more stock. What do I mean by that? Okay. So we have to talk about how my income, which is how much money that I make, is basically however much money I bring in from markets, from my online store, from YouTube, from etc. etc. And then you subtract all of my expenses. And by that I mean like material cost, vendor fee, subscriptions like for Shopify or whatever thing, all of that stuff combined into one ball of expenses, taxes, all of that. And then you subtract that from the amount of money that comes in, and that's how much money I actually make, right? So, in order to make more money, as in like the money coming in that actually comes to me that doesn't go back out, I need to either increase the amount of money coming in or I need to decrease my expenses. Okay, are you with me? It's math. Okay, so why is this important to think about? And why has this been on my mind? This feels like a school project. Okay, so basically, because everything I make is handmade, I feel like I'm really repeating this over and over again, but it takes a lot of time for me to make more product in order to sell more product in order to increase the amount of money coming in. Because it's not just about how do I increase sales, but it's about the amount of time that it takes is not easily scalable. Scalable meaning like the scale of it. Increasing the scale. So, okay, for example, let's say I sell shoes. I'm a cobbler. I actually, do they sell shoes or do they just fix them? I sell shoes. I have a shoe pop up. I'm selling shoes, buy my shoes. I order these. I design my shoes. I order them from a manufacturer. They are in Italy. I don't know, but they Milan has fashion, right? Anyway, they make the shoes. They send me the shoes. I sell the shoes. Okay, so it takes me a certain amount of time to design the shoes, go through the manufacturing process. I'm sure it's super tedious. I have no idea. I've only ever made tote bags, and it was honestly pretty easy. But anyway, I'm a cobbler. I order the shoes. I sell the shoes. Okay. Now, I want to make more money. Let's up the ante. Let's start doing multiple pop-ups. I'll just order more shoes. I need more capital, more money to order more shoes because it costs more to order it. But it's like doesn't take a lot of time on my end to just submit the designs and then they bring me the shoes or ship me the shoes by plane or ship or whatever. So it's very scalable. Like after that, I've made enough money. I start a shoe store, I become a brand. I sell online, I'm the shoe guy, right? What am I talking about? But for my product, I cannot submit a design and then receive it back from some girl, like another version of me sitting in my closet, like crocheting, I have to actually be doing everything. So like crocheting, handling behind the scenes things like going to shows or running the online store, or sitting down and coming up with new designs and like prototyping and like testing my own patterns, it doing emails and like customer service things and running social media and like making content. So I don't have endless time to make product. You see the problem? You see the problem. Where am I on my notes? Okay, so TLDR, it's not as scalable as much as other manufactured goods. Oh, sorry, Joe on the other video commented that he doesn't know what TLDR means. I know you're kidding, Joe, but that means too long. Oh, okay, well, it just means in short. I'll stop saying that. Okay, so on the one hand, people can be like, okay. Also, I kind of got this feedback from my other videos, but it's like, okay, on the one hand, why don't you just educate the customer about like Temu and Shein and fast fashion and like explain why your prices are the way they are and whatever. Like, let's be honest, that is very difficult. And especially when you're going to like a market and it's just like the general population, the large majority of people, okay, maybe not the large majority, a majority, a large group of people do not necessarily care that you made it. I think a large group of people appreciate it and they like that and they're willing to spend a little bit more. But there are also a lot of people that kind of just want to buy that product no matter what the cost is. Maybe a slightly smaller group of people that also don't care about the ethics of how this product arrived here, or whatever. It's a solution, but it's very hard. Also, if someone approaches my booth and I start going off about like why my prices are high because it's on Temu, I feel like they might just go on Temu and look up the same item, which can't find it. But you know what I mean? Like they'll find similar stuff. Let's be honest. It's not good, but they're gonna find it. Like some kind of crochet, right? So now, especially because I'm competing with some people directly bring these products to the booths, to Artist Alley, to markets, to whatever with their Temu stuff, right? So I have to be able to compete with that, and I'm not going to be here blabbing on about how that person is not good, because I mean, it's just it's not like, I want to say it's like rude, but I mean they're being kind of rude, so it seems to be justified. But also, I'm not going to do that, right? So there's that. What was I even saying? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I say that so many times. Okay. Why is this important to think about? Okay, well, because we have to think about survivability, right? The other solution, okay, so the one solution is to educate people. Okay, that's hard. Another solution, why don't you just pad your booth with stuff that you manufacture, like tote bags? I'm working on it. I tried making some tote bags. There are also some other things that I want to make. I've attempted the manufacturing process. It is difficult. There are some bags. I don't want to spoil anything, actually, because I don't know if I want to follow through with it. And also, if I do follow through with it, I want to spoil it and then other people make it. You know what I mean? I see you trying to steal my stuff. No, I know you're not. Or are you? But it's a solution, but also you need a lot of money to do it, which is why Kickstarter exists. But that's also like not the easiest thing, right? It's easy to say like, oh, why don't you just make this product and then put it on Kickstarter, get a lot of money, and they fund. Easily said. Also, these processes also take a lot of time. Okay, so here we are. We got a couple different solutions, but here's my solution that I found. Okay, because these things are all very difficult. We can reduce our expenses, right? Yeah, I know. I'm good. Okay. So, again, the amount of money that I make, if we want to increase the amount of money that I make without increasing how much stock that I need to make and the time and the effort, I can try and reduce expenses as much as I can. So that is what I've been working on. To be honest, I haven't been working on it that hard. It kind of sucks. I hate looking at like how much it's like I have to sit down and be like, is it worth it for me to buy this thing that would, like, for example, the wrapping paper, right? I buy masking paper. Like, it's like a giant roll of masking paper. I don't think I have any because I've packed most of my things now. for moving at the end of the month. Sorry, it's so crinkly. Oh my god, I'm sorry. But basically, I buy a super long, it's like a huge thick roll, and it's cheap. And I take a paper cutter and I sit there for like half a day and I just cut rolls all day, just like into the paper that I use for wrapping. And that way I have a whole bunch to use for wrapping bouquets. Also because sometimes I mess it up and then I need another piece of paper, so I need a little bit more than anticipated. So that's kind of like, I could probably just buy floral wrapping paper on Amazon, but if you look that up, that ish is expensive. It's super expensive. It's like almost $1 a piece. That's like not worth it for me. Whereas these roll papers, I get like a big old roll for like $6 to $9, depending on how Amazon feels that day, right? So if I can reduce material cost, that makes a huge difference, right? Usually buying in bulk also helps. The problem with milk cotton though is that milk cotton yarn, it's it's just a special, it's not a special type of yarn, it's just a different type of yarn that's really popular in like Asia. And the problem with it is, even though it's super soft and great to work with and so smooth, when you're like crocheting, it's like, it's literally so smooth, like my hook never gets caught in the yarn like it does with acrylic sometimes. But it's just so hard to source. I've tried several different sources on AliExpress, and somehow every single time I find a good one, they decide to close their store, or they just don't exist anymore, or that listing doesn't exist anymore. And then I haven't been able to consistently source a lot. The other problem is, if you want to buy a lot of yarn in bulk, you have to have the money to buy it in bulk, and that's working on it. You have to remember, guys, I know I keep saying that I'm broke, but I also, like, I'm moving right now, and like life. Someone commented and they were like, oh, you always talk about how you're broke, but like you got a tattoo. You don't you talk about how I spend. Don't. Anyway, okay, let's get back on topic. Buying in bulk. Oh yeah, that's the good thing actually about yarn, is that normally if I'm the shoe, okay, sorry, I'm the shoe guy now. I could be like, oh my god, it's so much cheaper for me to buy 100 pairs of shoes than 25 pairs of shoes, because the shipping gets cheaper or something. I think it does. It's like if you order stuff in bulk, there's discounts, right? The unit price goes down and then the shipping gets cheaper. But do I have enough money to buy 100 pairs of shoes? Also, what if I order all of these shoes and then this design is no longer popular? We don't have that problem as crochet people. Sorry, I included you in we, even though I don't know if you crochet or not, but people who use yarn do not have that problem, because you could just stop making that product instead of, you know what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing steam a little bit. Okay, what else? That's basically it. Material costs. The other thing is reducing expenses by reducing your market costs and being a lot more picky with what markets you go to. So for me, last year, oh, was it last year? Yeah, last year during the summer, I did every single market, like locally. I did all the like night markets, I did all the craft fairs, I did all the like just like cute girly pop markets and stuff. And I did everything. I signed up for everything. I added up all my expenses from just attending markets last year, and it was insane. And I never really thought about it, because you go to the market and then you make money and you're like, yes, money, right? But the amount of product that I had to make just to cover the market expenses, a little bit ridiculous. Because imagine I go to this market, okay? This applies to, I got a little bit of negative feedback recently, so we're gonna trust that, okay? I don't think they're watching this because it seemed kind of mean. They didn't like my videos, so I don't think they're watching. But sorry, I'm in a weird mood today. But they were like, oh, you're not even grateful for how much money you make. Like, you made $1,000. I only make like X amount at this market, and you made $1,000 and you don't even appreciate it. Okay, let's do the math here. Okay, let's say I fly to a convention nearby. Let's say let's say I went to Vancouver. Okay, actually Vancouver's a little bit different because I had a lot of free accommodation and whatever. But let's say I go to Vancouver and I make $1,000. this is why I would be very okay feeling about this. Don't get me wrong. Where's my hand? Don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for every single person that is willing to spend their hard-earned money on things that I've made and displayed in their house or give it to someone. That's crazy. I super appreciate it. But we have to think about it as a business, and we have to think about it long term. And this is not a hobby for me, okay? This is like how I survive. So I need to buy groceries, right? So it's kind of a different approach that you have to take in order to make sure that you can stay afloat in this world, right? So let's say you make $1,000, okay? We have to subtract from that a series of expenses. There's going to be travel expenses. So let's say it costs me, I don't know, like $200 to fly there, okay? Already, I've only made 800 now, okay? Let's say accommodations cost me 200. It's going to cost me a lot more in Vancouver if I had to stay somewhere. But this is also like you pick and choose your shows, right? This is why I only attend markets and conventions where I know people. Even if, like, when I went to Washington and it was literally with pies and I hadn't really met him before, that was actually probably not a recommendable idea. But you know what I mean? Like, I stay, if you can stay with somebody, that significantly reduces your expenses and increases the amount that you're actually putting in your pocket, right? So let's say it cost me, $200 for accommodations for the weekend, as if, right? But so that's already what, $400. I haven't even counted like cost of goods. Let's say, I can't even. It's so much more than you think. But let's go everything else because everybody's material cost is different. So travel, accommodations, food for the weekend. Let's say $100 for the weekend. We're just eating like fast food or whatever, snacks. Get some Gatorade. $100. That's 2, 4. That's 500. You're already that $1,000 that you made. You now only have $500, right? What else is there? There's also like small things that you don't think about. If I'm flying there and I need to bring my stock, there's a fee to bring checked bags. If I don't have a car over there and I need to Uber, that there's a fee for that. Sometimes you have to pay an extra fee if you drive there and you park. There's parking fees. If you need a helper or someone to come with you, you have to pay them. And then if they're friend and you trade them snacks to stay with you, you have to pay for their badge, right? So altogether, that's going to be like another, let's say, $100 if we round down. So that's like, $1,000. I'm only bringing 400, not including the subtracting cost of goods. So let's say, I mean, I feel like that's already enough to justify my point, but you have to think about it. Okay, we're going back also. Everything is handmade, right? Sorry, my brain farted for a second. But now, if the expenses are adding up to like 500, it was already more than 500, but we'll say 500, I need to make enough product to cover 500. I need to make $500 worth of product just to break even at this show or this market or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of time and effort put in just to attend the show and be there and break even. So for me, if I can see the future and see in advance that I'm only gonna, like, it's gonna cost me $500. Wait. Yeah, it's gonna cost me $500. That's a lot heavier than if I was the shoe guy. Because the shoe guy is very easy to order more shoes, sell $500 worth of shoes. Okay, maybe I just have to bring more stuff. It's going to be heavier and more like logistically difficult. But it's very easy for me to order $500 more worth of shoes. I have to sit down and make $500 worth of product just to be able to cover my butt for this thing. So there's a lot more to think about. Honestly, I feel like this is more like, hi, it turns out running this thing is a lot harder than I thought. And you have to balance like your production time with your other business tasks, right? Like all the marketing and customer service, and like calculate like what is the impact on putting time into this versus like your overall like, will this reduce expenses if I don't know. I don't know, guys. My brain kind of icky right now. It's kind of like mushy in there because I'm like just congested and gross and mucusy. But yeah, I just, this was my clickbait conversation for the day. Did I just need a YouTube video this week? Yeah. But look, I'm doing so good at uploading every week, right? I need some positive feedback. We are going to Fan Expo this weekend. I will be staying with Shirley. You'll see Shirley in the vlog. She hasn't been in one for a while, actually. She's been busy. But we will show you Shirley. Julia will be there too, actually. Trio. But yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna possibly meet some of my old friends from school, from science students. Well, they're not students anymore. They're all like med somethings. But yeah. Thanks for watching. I guess I can comment on, do you remember that last video that I made where we talked and it was just about like the plagiarism stuff? I got a lot of really good comments on that, actually. I did ask you to, so thank you for following through, but I haven't been able to respond to all of them because at some point there were just way too many, but it was really interesting to read through. So if you haven't taken a look through some of the comment threads, it's pretty interesting. A lot of people have different things to say. I see pretty much, like, I can relate to every perspective. Like, everyone's coming from a different point of view, and they're all valid, TBH. So yeah. I don't know. I keep holding back because I want to kind of make a video about how to identify, like, fast fashion, overseas made stuff. But I'm really scared that it's going to start this, like, weird pointing fingers game. I don't think it's worth it to get into it just so people can be like, you didn't make that. You didn't make that, you know? Or do you think this person, do you think this person didn't make it? Do you think this person didn't? I really don't want to start that. It's just going to be really messy and unnecessary. And like, I feel like if we just have some level of trust and bring awareness to it as much as we can, eventually it will dissipate once it's no longer trendy and we can just continue living our lives. Right? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? If you have ideas for other clickbait videos I can make, or things you want me to talk about. I feel like I'm a yapper. At least these days. I've been pretty yappy, so yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your comment. I love to hear your thoughts. I really do. I read all of them. Please do leave them. And if you have any ideas for other videos, this is me farming your brain for my content. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, as usual, even when I have these ratchet ones. I appreciate it. Bye. See you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.